Knuckle Fighting Championship is live tonight in Tampa, Florida to open the biggest weekend of the American sports calendar with the biggest card in promotional history. From the RP Funding Center, BKFC presents Knucklemania, which culminates with our main event, Paige VanZant versus Hart. First up, it's the free preliminary bouts presented by Unreal Mobile, the undisputed champion of wireless. 11 fights coming your way, and we'll open with 135-pounders Jarod versus Lambert. In our feature bout, it's Leben in the final fight of his legendary career versus Quentin at 205 pounds. Tonight's co-main, the champion Johnny Bedford versus Nguyen for the BKFC 135-pound world title, and our main event, set for 125 pounds, Paige VanZant in her bare-knuckle debut versus Hart. A socially distanced, sold-out crowd will be on attendance tonight here in Tampa, Florida, filled with celebrities from both sports and entertainment. Hey everyone, with Chris Lights Out Lytle, I'm Sean Wheelock. Coming up in 1 hour, our main card begins. The only way to watch is on pay-per-view. You can order right now online, fight.tv, through the Fight app, and through all traditional cable and satellite pay-per-view outlets. Chris, our main event, highly anticipated and highly intriguing. Paige VanZant versus Hart, a real contrast in styles.
It's finally here, Sean, and like you said, very contrasting styles. Totally different girls. Paige VanZant, a newcomer to the sport, but very familiar with combative sports in general. Very powerful striker, very good hands. As you can see here with her punching, wants to get inside, land that heavy punch. Thinks she can end the night with one shot. I agree with her. She is a heavy puncher right now, especially for this. Hart, a totally different style there. She wants to overwhelm you with punches, volume, straight down the pipe. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Stay inside and tight. She feels like she can cut her opponent open and get a victory that way. Both girls very talented in what they do, but you can see there's a lot of animosity between them. This is real. These girls do not like each other. This fight's been built up for so long. These girls cannot wait to get in here and punch each other right in the face.
Joining us on the broadcast tonight is Brian Sosha. We send it to Brian backstage now.
Love this Knucklemania, so excited. I'm here with heavyweight champion BKFC, Joey Beltran, who apparently is going to be facing Sam Shoemaker April 16th. That's going to be exciting. But right now in this building, Joey, you can cut the tension with the night, the excitement, everybody's having a great time, and you're the heavyweight champion, so I got to ask you, because I've never been hit with a bare knuckle, what does it feel like?
I mean, you're talking about the rawest form of impact there can be. I mean, bone on bone. I mean, me personally, there's nothing that gets me as fired up as when I take that first hard punch in a fight, and then it's on, man.
I've never seen somebody take a hard punch like Joey. Joey, you know, a lot of people thinking about buying this show. They're excited about it. You're a bare-knuckle heavyweight champion, like I said. Who better to tell them why they should buy the show?
I mean, speaking literally just from a fan's perspective, I mean, I personally have been all over the world, 4 different continents, and fought at the highest level, and I still made it a point to get down here to Florida to watch as a fan. It's going to be that good. The pace of the fights, you know, the level of violence. I mean, let's keep it real. The level of violence in these fights is something phenomenal, something definitely worth forking out those few dollars to watch.
Now, right before we went on the air, we saw the Paige VanZant Hart video package, and I asked you who's going to win the fight. What did you say?
I say without a doubt, I mean, we got to go with Hart. I mean, experience. I mean, there's no other word that really comes to mind. You're literally stepping into the unknown, and for Paige VanZant and Hart, it's been in there with the best. She's been in there with Rowdy Beck. She's been in there with Christine Ferrer. So, I mean, I'm going with Britt.
He's going with and I'm going back to Sean and Chris at ringside. Thank you, Joey.
Brian, thank you very much. Chris, we will open Knucklemania with a bout at 135 pounds. Jarod 2-0 in BKFC versus Lambert, who is set to make his bare-knuckle debut.
Yeah, that's a fantastic fight. These guys both have power for 135-pound fighters. You look here right now, Grant has been very impressive so far. 2 fights, 2 knockouts, and he's done it different ways. He's done it with a first-round knockout, but he's also shown that he can deal with some adversity. Right here, a couple of hard punches. Had to eat the canvas. That really says something to me about a fighter who can get up on the canvas and come back. It shows what he did right here. Devastating punches. He really makes his other guy's corner throw in the towel. He's beating him up so bad. That means a lot to me when a guy can do something like that come off the canvas.
Our tale of the tape is presented by Unreal Mobile. Jarod Grant versus Brandon Lambert.
The two things that stick out right here are the age and the height. The height is much better for Brandon Lambert, a lot taller. However, the main problem here, it doesn't really translate over the reach. Only a 1-inch reach advantage. Height is not that much of an advantage if you don't have that reach. It's not there, so both guys have the same advantage to hit each other, and they're going to do a lot of that tonight. They're going to hit each other.
Brandon Lambert lived in Thailand for 4.5 years, where he said he amassed a Muay Thai record of 43 wins against 2 defeats and 2 draws. Lambert said, Jarod Grant does not think I'm a real fighter because I do not have easily documented and easily researched fights.
Well, you know, it doesn't really matter if he believes it or not, because we're going to find out real quick. That is the beauty of the squared circle. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. If you're a real fighter, they're going to find out. And if you're not, that's going to be exposed.
Lambert told us in our fighter meeting, I've got to utilize my jab. I'm going to pick apart Jarod Grant from the outside and throw uppercuts as he rushes in.
Well, that's a great strategy. You got the guy who is a little bit smaller. He's going to have to kind of punch up coming in. So that uppercut is there. If he's able to catch him and time it, it's going to be a good, quick night for him to be able to win that fight.
Brandon Lambert said, I am dedicating this fight to my 3 kids, Leonidas Cruz, Indiana Scarlett, and Aspen Gracie. He said, I don't care if you mention my name, mention my kid's name, I'm going to give a very honorable performance.
And what a brilliant idea. He already has the people on his side right now. When you bring out your kids, I like his strategy, man. Well done.
Lambert said, I'm going to come forward off of the scratch line, swing big, take control of this fight immediately. Chris, as you and I have learned, and you found out in the ring going 2-0 in BKFC, this is not an easy sport to play, come from behind.
No, it's not. A lot of times, whoever gets off first is the person who's going to win the fight. That's the number one key, I think, get off first.
Jarod Grant, a very good amateur boxer, 48-7, 2 pro career combat sports fights, both in BKFC, both TKO victories. Grant said, I really dislike my opponent. I think he's an internet troll. I don't think he knows how to fight. I can't get emotional, but at the same time, I really want to punish him.
Yeah, and he's 100% right there. He cannot get emotional. That might be Brandon Lambert's plan, is to get him out there and get him out of an element. We've seen his element. His element is very good. He needs to stick to that, stick to the game plan, and you can't get wild. When you get upset, you throw wild punches, and sometimes that leaves you open for the counter strike.
Chris Lambert said that I want to pick him apart from the outside. Grant said I want to come to the inside. He acknowledged the fact in amateur boxing he didn't understand the clinch game, but Jarod Grant told us in training for this bout, it's been all about working on the clinch, both offensively and defensively.
And that's exactly what we want to hear. We want to hear a guy who's taking this sport serious, sees the opportunities, sees what he's lacking, and he's correcting those mistakes. Grant's doing that tonight.
Grant said, I cannot get sucked into a brawl. I have to be smart. I have to let my skill set shine in this fight.
And I believe him right there. You've seen him. He's tactically very good. He's fast. He's precise. What else do you need to win a fight? Nothing. He needs to stick to that, and he's going to be doing very well tonight.
To get us started, we send it to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the RP Funding Center in the shadow of Tampa, Florida, under the bright lights before the pay-per-view extravaganza of Knucklemania, we are set for our opening fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds at a bare knuckle weight of 135 pounds. Presented by Unreal Mobile, the pound-for-pound leader in wireless. Get blazing fast 5G starting at just $10 at UnrealMobile.com. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears black and gold. His official weight, 137 pounds. Tonight, he makes his long-anticipated bare-knuckle debut. fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, by way of Riverside, California. Here is the bastard of bare knuckle, Brandon Lambert. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight, he wears black and gold. His official weight, 134.6 pounds. As a bare knuckle fighter, he is undefeated in the squared circle at 2-0. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, here is Jarod Kid Gotti Grant. And our referee in charge of the action, Andrew Glenn.
Brandon Lambert, first to scratch. Bout number 1 of our prelims. Bout number 1 of BKFC presents Knucklemania.
Knuckle up!
The call of Knuckle Up from referee Andrew Glenn, round number 1. Black and gold trunks for Jarod Grant. Black, gold, and silver trunks for Brandon Lambert. Lambert, in the distance, lateral movement. Big shots now into the half-tie pump. Counter right hand right back from Jarod Grant out to the body.
Grant is doing exactly what he said. He's staying relaxed right now. He's sticking with the game plan.
Warning from referee Andrew Glenn to both fighters, watch punches to the back of the head. Legal punch must target the ear and catch at least part of the ear.
And Lambert's got to be a little careful right now. He's kind of getting a little cocky right now, putting his hands down. Look at him.
Clowning right now, Lambert pointing to the center of the ring. Hands down. Come on, goddammit! See the trash talking. This, Chris, is where Jarod Grant said, I cannot get emotional even though I really dislike Brandon Lambert.
And he's 100% right. Lambert's got to be careful just yelling and screaming right there. He's wasting energy, and you're going to need that in these later rounds.
Methodically, Grant walks forward. There's the jab from Lambert, keeping his hands very low, hands very high for Grant. 50 seconds remaining, round number 1.
And I think Grant's being very smart right now. What he's doing, he's just waiting for his openings. He's waiting to see for his opponent to make a mistake. He's really being tactical right now. He's waiting to see for that perfect opportunity to overhand that right.
Left hand misses from the southpaw stance for Brandon Lambert. Grant told us, I think Lambert will start fast and fade rapidly. 25 seconds remaining, round number 1.
I mean,
jab again.
Lambert's pulling out with a jab, but he's not following up with 2, and he's dropping that left hand every time he throws the jab.
Your left hook from Brandon Lambert. Jarod Grant playing a lot of defense, now steps into the pocket, has that right hand stuck. 2 big uppercuts from the half-tie pump for Brandon Lambert. Lambert with the feint with the left hand. Right hand, left hand misses. The finger wag no from Brandon Lambert. Another flick jab, the bell, the end of round number 1.
I mean, this looks like a lot of theatrics right now for Brandon Lambert. He's kind of throwing his hands up in the air, he's stomping, but he's not really doing much damage right now. I would really encourage him to kind of tighten it up a little bit, put the hands in a better spot, and follow that jab with a 2 or an uppercut.
This and all bouts tonight, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds. The judges assigned by the Florida Athletic Commission.
Countering you now. Just keep chopping, keep chopping, keep chopping. Keep that left hand up, though. You look good. You're winning. You're winning the fight. Keep doing you.
Just don't get low in the safety. That's all he's wanting to do.
Yeah, he's just looking for you to wait to be careless. Exactly.
Okay, and right now we have Lambert in there with the tie plum, throwing pinches right now, punches both guys right now. The main story with this part right here is both the fingers being waved, the stomping, the antics being done by Brandon Lambert.
All right, gentlemen, toe the line. Knuckle up!
Round number 2. Lambert takes the slide step back off of the scratch line, and it's Grant coming forward. Lambert right back to the jab from the southpaw stance, hands low. See the head movement from Jarod Grant. Grant on the switch step. With the right hand, ever so slightly here, Chris. Jarod Grant turning up the pressure.
And I think we're going to see a lot more of that now. He's had a round. He's figured out what his opponent's going to do. He's going to look to counter, slip, and overhand right.
Left hand misses. Grant looking to throw the jab, coming in, hands very high. That left hand missed badly from Brandon Lambert. It lands with the left hand that time. Big swing, naked there, didn't throw the jab first. Counter right hand just misses from Jarod Grant. Lambert now taking the backward step. Big right hand and the left hand from Jarod Grant. The finger wag again from Lambert.
And I'm very impressed right now, once again, with Kid Gotti. He's doing a good job of staying relaxed.
Step back.
Waiting for that perfect punch. He's waiting to land that big right hand and knock him out.
50 seconds remaining, round number 2.
Every time Brandon Lambert throws that jab, he's dropping his left hand. And if I'm seeing it, I'm pretty sure Grant's seeing it.
Grant holding center of the ring. You see the feints from Lambert. Lambert working off of the 1, pulled back to 2. Big right hand, that landed flush from Grant.
That's that counter right there.
Grant starting to load up his shots. Lambert committed to the jab, staying long, staying on the outside.
Every time Lambert throws a power punch, it's telegraphed. It's seen way before.
Huge right hand in the left. Grant stepping in. Final seconds, round number 2. Another big swing. Lambert ducking under that into the clinch. That is the end of round number 2.
Quite a bit different there at the end of that round. Kid Gotti's really starting to find his range round.
UFC fighter, BKFC alum Brock Weaver in the corner of Brandon Lambert.
Yeah, Lambert still coming out with his antics, but at the end of the round, that wasn't what was going on. It was Kid Gotti being able to land big punches. Once again, big misses being done right now by Lambert. Oh, still with the antics, so he's still not letting that go. I think he's trying to get in his opponent's head. However, look at Kid Gotti landing these big punches. I'm surprised that he's not letting that get to him. But no, he's being very measured. He's waiting for the right time, landing those big punches. I expect a lot more of that in this round.
This is the 3rd fight in BKFC for Jarod Grant, the first time that he has seen round number 3. His 2 previous wins, TKO round 1, TKO round 2. Into round 3, indeed we go. Lambert staying long, doubling up on the jab. Exploding to the inside, Jarod Grant.
I think Grant's really feeling his groove right now. He's seen everything in those first 2 rounds that his opponent can throw at him, and now he's just looking to counter.
Short right hand from Brandon Lambert. Lambert's mouth wide open on the duck under from Lambert. Underhook snatched by Grant. Quick separation from referee Andrew Glenn. Right back to it. Grant walking forward, hands down now unloading. Duck under from Jarod Grant.
Don't grab the legs. Knuckle up.
And Grant right now just stalking and walking. He's making him pay for it right now. All those antics that were being done, you can tell right now he's thinking, no, time to take your medicine right now, son.
1:10 remaining, round number 3. Long jab again. Lambert pulls back the left hand. Triple jab from Grant. Huge right hand and down goes Brandon Lambert.
That all came from that uppercut to the body. Grant hit him with a real good one. Sometimes it's a delayed reaction, and I don't think he's getting up. He's going to say it was the back of the head. That was a shot to the body that hurt him.
That is it. The win. Now 3-0 goes Jarod Grant.
And I know he's looking, holding his head right now, but if you watch the replay, I think it was that right uppercut to the body that really did the trick. Very good job done right there by Grant. He waited, he was patient, even though his opponent was in his face doing these antics. He did exactly what he needed to, saw what his opponent was doing, and countered. Okay, this is going to go through the end of the fight. Wild punch right there. Oh, I think we missed the uppercut. He hit him right at the end, but I'd like to see the uppercut if we could get that part in there.
Somewhere Josh Barnett has a smile on his face with that celebration.
Kid Gotti very excited to get his 3rd knockout in 3 fights.
305, baby!
The final punch is a right hand, which Lambert is claiming caught him in the back of the head.
Getting a good replay of this right now. Here's that uppercut to the body. That did some damage right there. Sometimes it has a delayed reaction. Didn't really, I think it caught part of the ear, so that's a legal punch. Hard to tell from that angle, but it didn't seem like it hit him directly in the back of the head.
If any part of the fist catches any part of the opponent's ear, it is a legal punch. And fighters, obviously, in all combat sports, of course, Chris, turn their head. What a referee is looking for in that situation is the attacking fighter targeting the back of the fighter's head. And clearly, Andrew Glenn said absolutely not.
It didn't look like there. He was ducking his head down. He was throwing a punch to hit him in the head. If you keep ducking down, it might slide and hit the back of the head. It looked like it hit part of the ear to me. Maybe we can slow that down and see that again. Really hard to tell from that angle right there. I couldn't see if it hit the back, his neck, if it hit his ear.
Here is Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Andrew Glenn, reaches the count of 10 at 1 minute 11 seconds into round number 3 for your winner by KO and still undefeated, Jarod Kid Gotti Grant.
Great job right there. Jarod Grant did exactly what he needed to do. He waited patiently, went through all his opponent's antics, and he finished the night with a great combination right there.
Jarod Grant continues to impress in BKFC's stacked 135-pound division. A cool start and a powerful finish. The winner, by way of third-round knockout, Jarod Grant defeats Brandon Lambert. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Knucklemania presented by BKFC. The only way to watch is on pay-per-view. Now you can view it by going online to fight.tv. You can also download the Fight app and order it there, as well as through all traditional cable and satellite pay-per-view outlets. Top of the hour, our main card begins, of course, with our main event, Paige VanZant versus Hart, coming up live on pay-per-view. With us, as always, having the fight odds is Mystic Zach. He is presented by BetOnline.ag.
Tonight we've got Knucklemania, which is shaping up to be BKFC's biggest event in history. In the feature bout, we've got Chris Leben. He's a combat sports legend. He's taking on Quentin Henry. This is set to be Chris Leben's retirement match. He's, of course, had a legendary career. And Quentin Henry is a guy who's extreme power. He's had 2 fights inside the squared circle. He's gotten 2 first-round knockouts, and he's a young star. You can grab Chris Leben at -140, while you can grab Quentin Henry at +110. One thing's for sure, both these guys are going to throw absolute bombs. And in the co-main event, we've got Johnny Bedford defending his 135-pound belt against Dat Nguyen. Both of you guys are undefeated in the squared circle. Johnny Bedford 5-0, while Dat Nguyen is 2-0. Dat Nguyen, his last fight, a very impressive first-round knockout, while Johnny Bedford's been impressive his entire run. He's been at it since the beginning. He even fought at BKFC 1. You can grab Johnny Bedford at +150, while Dat Nguyen is -180. And then in the main event, we've got Paige VanZant, perhaps BKFC's biggest signing in history. She makes her long-awaited BKFC debut against Hart. In Hart's last fight, she had a very impressive stoppage at BKFC 14. Hart puts on an absolute pace, and it'll be very interesting to see what Paige VanZant can do to stop that pressure. All of this is on betonline.ag, of course. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Mystic Zach. We are joined now at the commentary table by the man who made this all possible, David Feldman, the founder, the president, the CEO of BKFC, and the man who brought bare knuckle fighting from the 1800s into the modern era. Dave, the cards get bigger and bigger. We were together June 2nd, 2018 in Cheyenne, Wyoming, BKFC 1. The Paulie Malignaggi Artem Lobov card was huge, and it gets even bigger tonight with Knucklemania.
It's amazing. I mean, just the growth of the sport, the growth of the company. It's amazing to see where we are today. We're opening up Super Bowl weekend. I mean, who would have thought that June 2nd, 2018, that this company would open up Super Bowl weekend? Here we are, our biggest event ever, with Paige VanZant making her debut, a sold-out crowd, and hopefully hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people watching this at home.
Dave, as you look at this stack card, so much attention, of course, is on the Paige VanZant bare knuckle debut. You did not give her a squash in fight parlance. You gave her a really tough opponent. Hart has fought 3 times in BKFC. She's coming off of a really impressive win in November versus Randine Ekholm, and she has 11 pro boxing bouts. Can you talk about the philosophy in giving Paige VanZant her first opponent?
Yeah, you know what it was, Sean? It was Paige VanZant. Paige VanZant did not want a walkover. She wanted a tough fight. She has something to prove. she's proven something to herself. She has something to prove to the fans. And she did not want to walk over a fight. She asked for someone with experience. And Britain Hart, she was commentating the fight. It just made sense that she got to see what Britain Hart could do. And Britain Hart ended up calling her out. And here we are. Knucklemania, Paige VanZant versus Britain Hart.
You know, that is one thing that I think everybody I talk to really likes about this sport is there are no easy fights. I mean, we have tough guy fighting tough guy fighting tough. This isn't like a lot of other sports where people are going to pick and choose. Everybody here is going to have to fight the toughest in the world.
Well, you know what it is, Chris? We're at a growth with this company, and we're at a spot that, you know, we're putting on 12 fights tonight. And if 5 of them are bad, it's a bad look for this company. So every fight is very competitive. Every fight's a war. And who knows who's going to win any of these fights. And that's what I really do respect Paige VanZant for. She didn't have to come here, first of all. She didn't have to fight with bare knuckles. She chose to do that to challenge herself. And then she chose to take on a veteran of 3 bare knuckle fights to challenge herself even more. I am so looking forward to that main event. I really think it's going to be an all-out war.
Dave, you were a professional boxer. You nearly took a punch yesterday at the weigh-ins. That was real. My phone blew up. This has gone viral. The animosity between the two spilling over at the weigh-in. You were in the center of it. What was your view?
You know, I was just happy that I still had my reflexes enough to slip the punch, Sean. It was, you know, look, you want stuff like that. It sells the fight, right? It sells the fight. Nobody got hurt. They pushed each other. They have a little animosity. It was great. It was great to sell this fight. It was great to see that these girls really do truly have something that they want to prove to each other inside that square circle. And that's another reason why I can't wait to see that fight.
We look too at our co-main event. This is a phenomenal fight as well. Johnny Bedford, he was with us on that inaugural card, June 2nd, 2018. 5-0 in BKFC. He enters as the 135-pound champion, facing Nguyen, a phenomenal professional boxer. Nguyen, 20-3 and now 2-0 in BKFC. The talent keeps coming. It comes from MMA and it comes from professional boxing.
But just as you talked about earlier, every fight is competitive. Who wins this one? One day I'm saying, that's probably going to edge this one. The next day I'm going Johnny Bedford. And you know what? The bettors are saying the same thing because Johnny Bedford opened up a pretty heavy favorite, and he's going into this fight as a champion, as an underdog. That's crazy because the fans are just, they don't know which way it's going to go. It's 2 very talented fighters. One guy is 5-0, one guy is 2-0. Johnny Bedford has the best record in all of BKFC, really in all of bare knuckle fighting around the world right now. And he's fighting Nguyen, a 20-3 professional boxing veteran and a 2-0 in bare knuckle. And he looked sensational in his last fight. So that's another one. That's really the one that I'm looking forward to see the most because I don't know who's going to win that one. I think that has potential of not only being fight of the night, fight of the year, but the best fight ever in the history of bare knuckle fighting championship.
You know what's funny to me about this? I think it's probably 6 months ago we had a fight, and afterwards we were on the car, we were riding back, and we were talking about a dream matchup, and that was it. We're like, oh, that would be fantastic. And then we were talking about it, and it came to be, and it's tonight.
All right.
That's a fight I'm really looking forward to as well.
Nah, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that one, but I'm also looking forward to the opening of the feature bout, Sean.
Our feature bout is going to be great. Chris Leben's retirement fight against Quentin Henry, who enters at 2-0. All coming up tonight. Dave Feldman, the founder, the president, the CEO of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. You can get your official Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship merchandise, and tonight only, you can use the promo code Knucklemania to get 50% off of your order. Included in that order, you can buy the limited edition Knucklemania t-shirt. Again, go online. It is bareknuckleshop.com. Use the promo code Knucklemania tonight only and receive 50% off of your purchase. Tonight's free Knucklemania prelims are presented by Unreal Mobile, the undisputed champion of wireless. Our tale of the tape for this 135-pound bout is presented by Unreal Mobile. Travis Thompson versus David Morgan.
Yeah, the things that stand out right here, Travis Thompson is a little bit older, but with that comes a little bit of experience, so that might even be a good thing. Height, a little bit of an advantage right now for David Morgan. He is a little bit taller, has a 1-inch reach. Everything else is very similar right here. I think the main thing here, Travis Thompson, tough as nails, always puts on a great fight.
Travis Thompson, part of that historic card, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 1, June 2nd, 2018. 5 fights for Travis Thompson. Never been stopped at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
I mean, and Travis has turned into one of my favorite guys to watch here because this is a guy, he loves this sport. He will fight on a moment's notice. Matter of fact, he's done it. He took on that win on 4 days' notice. Didn't even have a training camp really for it, but this guy loves being in here, loves competing, and can't wait to be in here to put a stamp on this fight right now.
Travis Thompson prides himself on his nickname being the animal. That's what he wants to bring into this fight. This is the pro fighting debut for David Morgan. Has had 7 AMI MMA bouts. He started training at age 16 under Dan Henderson, the legendary Team Quest in Temecula, California. Morgan said, in training for this, my bare knuckle debut, I'm putting a big focus on punching accuracy. He said, I feel like I can take hard punches. I feel like I have a great chin. That is an asset for me, and I'm not afraid to take one to give one.
Well, that is a good asset to have, but that's a pretty dangerous strategy to have. He's coming from a great camp. We talked about Team Quest and Dan Henderson, one of the best fighters we've ever seen. But coming in here, you better work on what we've talked about, getting hit or not getting hit and hitting your opponent. That's the key right here. You don't want to go in there and trade because one punch could end the night, even if it doesn't knock you out, even if you got a great chin. That cut is a real thing, and that can stop the fight.
David Morgan said in our fighter meeting, I feel that Travis Thompson will move straight forward. He said, I don't think he's very effective moving backwards. I have to make him move backwards.
Well, he considers himself a brawler. That means he wants to come forward as well. When you have 2 guys who come forward like that, they're either going to meet in the middle or somebody is going to take a step backwards. I know we've seen Travis. He never does take a step back. So if this can happen where he takes a step back, I will be very surprised.
David Morgan also said something in our fighter meeting, which I think Travis Thompson will take umbrage with. Morgan said, Thompson has never been hit as hard as I'm going to hit him.
You know, hearing Travis understand that, but I think he feels like that's a kind of a slap in the face of a lot of the people he's fought. He's fought some of the best that we have to offer here. He's like, I don't think this guy's going to hit me any harder than any of the other guys that hit me. So I think he takes that as a slap in the face, not only to him, but to the opponents he's faced.
David Morgan said constant movement is key for me in this fight. Like so many fighters in their BKFC debut, they say, I want to be quick off of the scratch line. That's a common theme with debuters.
Absolutely. It seems so easy when you watch it. You're watching like, hey, why don't you just throw a punch right away? We've seen that work. We've seen Yuli Diaz. He got a 3-second knockout. However, the thing that people don't realize is when they get in there, the other person can hit you really hard as soon as you come forward too. So not quite as easy as it is when you watch it on TV.
The moment is at hand. His bare knuckle and indeed his pro fighting debut for David Morgan. You see his nickname on the back of his jacket, the Animal. Travis Thompson. Bout number 6 tonight in BKFC. 22 fights in pro boxing. Thompson has been here in the state of Florida training with the great Keith Thurman for this fight. Thurman, of course, the former WBA and WBC welterweight world champion. Thompson told me, in training with and just being around the gym every day with Keith Thurman, I've realized that I have to push myself harder than I've ever pushed myself before.
Yeah, that's a great thing to realize. You really think you're working hard, then you'll get to another level. Like, oh, this is what I was supposed to be doing the whole time. I know we've really focused on right now the animosity between Paige and Bret Hart. However, in the weigh-ins, there was some real animosity here. There was a lot of pushing going back and forth. And I talked to Travis afterwards. He's like, I was wanting to kill that guy. He said, if they would have got out of my way, I would have fought him right there. I don't care if I get paid or not. You love hearing that because you know when this fight happens, there's going to be a lot of bad blood.
Thompson also said, and no surprise, training with Keith Thurman, I've really improved my head movement. Thompson said that we are going to see a noticeable difference in how he moves his head off of the center line of David Morgan. Thompson told us, I expect him to swing big, but I think he is an arm puncher. He lacks knockout power, and he leaves himself wide open to my power shots.
Well, and that's, once again, we talked about the evolution of this sport and the maturity of a fighter. Travis Thompson is one of our more experienced fighters. That evolution is real. We're going to see exactly what he's been working on, and I guarantee he's been able to implement that a little bit more now that he's been training at a much better camp.
Here again is Jeff Houston.
Yeah, boy! Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set for the next fight of the night. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds at a bare knuckle weight of 135 pounds. Presented by Unreal Mobile, the pound-for-pound leader in wireless. Get blazing fast 5G starting at just $10 at unrealmobile.com. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears green and black. His official weight, 135.9 pounds. Tonight he makes his bare knuckle debut. Fighting out of Glendale, Arizona. Here is Dangerous David Morgan. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight, he wears red, white, and blue. His official weight, 135.4 pounds. He holds a bare knuckle record at 2-3. Fighting out of Pottstown, Pennsylvania, by way of St. Petersburg, Florida, Travis the Animal Thompson. And our referee in charge of the action, Chris Young.
Chris Young almost started his work early. As a fighter, half of the ring belongs to you. You can't cross that imaginary center line. Thompson did. Chris Young alertly moved in. Now both fighters up to scratch. The animosity spilling over. The bell, round number 1.
And man, I don't know what it is about these fights tonight, but everybody's seeming to hate each other.
Red, white, and blue trunks for Travis Thompson. Green trunks for David Morgan. Both fighters down. Right back to their feet. Obviously a double slip. High, tight striking guard for David Morgan. Thompson coming forward, slipping that right hand.
Now, Morgan might have a really good strategy right here, really trying to get Travis Thompson out of his game, because I think otherwise experience is really going to pay dividends for him. So if he can get him out of that game, it's a good move. Early
stalking pressure. There's a good check left hook from Morgan that lands. Thompson walking through it. Duck under from Thompson. Morgan taking himself off balance. Big swings. There's a left to the body. Counter right hand to the head from Morgan.
Travis is really doing a better job of using the inside fighting right now.
70 seconds remaining, round number 1. Thompson almost running back into the pocket. Throwing the jab off the 1. Right hand misses. Short right hand, that catches Morgan. Morgan stepping back. Resetting his feet. Again, the heavy stalking pressure for Travis Thompson.
Absolutely. He's not wanting to give this guy an instant breeze. Not giving him any time to, oh, see, there's a good punch right there.
Ruled a knockdown. 4, Christopher Young begins 5, his mandatory 6 count on David Morgan.
8, come to me. Knuckle up.
All of knuckle up, right back to it.
Travis doing a real good job of presenting that jab right away. Able to push himself into position from that jab that's covering a lot of distance.
25 seconds remaining, round number 1. Down goes David Morgan for the second time in the opening round.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do me a favor, walk over here.
Morgan trying to psych himself up. Trying to stay in this fight. Final seconds of the opening round. Thompson trying to reach the finish line. That's ruled a slip.
Get up, champ.
And that is the end of round number 1 and a big round 1 for Travis Thompson, recording 2 knockdowns.
Yeah, Travis did exactly what he wanted to do out there. Go out there, establish that he is the man. Go out there and throw in hard punches.
Sit down, man. So look, he's ducking his head. You gotta throw that uppercut, man. Throw the left hook, and when he ducks his head, coming under with that uppercut. When he pops straight, then reload with the straight right hand. It's there all day. Look, every single exchange, he's ducking his head. You got this. You gotta bend your knees a little more, okay? Coming under him, match his level.
Okay, here's the replay right now. Good body shot thrown by Travis Thompson. Hit him with a couple good right hands, and then he just kind of throws him to the ground right there at the end.
Tigers out.
Now that one did look like it kind of got him on the back of the head, but that was because he ducked into it.
Get that out of there.
Didn't look like that was an intentional thing to do. He just threw a punch. His opponent put his head down.
Knuckle up!
Bare knuckle judging is rapidly evolving, so in glove boxing, 99.9% of the time that's a 10-7. It's probably a 10-7, could be a 10-8. It might not matter because that's knockdown number 3. Morgan taking the count again from Christopher Young.
And Morgan's done.
He is done. That is it. Game, set, match, Travis Thompson.
And I think he was just overwhelmed right there. I think he got in there and this isn't what he thought was going to hapen. He envisioned something totally different. It's a lot easier than it looks. You get out there, it's a brutal sport, Sean.
Morgan down twice in round number 1, down immediately to start round number 2. You could see him talking to referee Christopher Young, acknowledging that he was not going to get up.
Now, Travis did a very smart thing there. When he was inside, he always was throwing power punches. He was throwing punches with bad intentions. He would have let his opponent know right away, you cannot deal with this for 5 rounds, and I think that's what happened right there. He continued to throw hard punches, and the opponent didn't want any more of it. So here it is, Travis Thompson on the inside. You couldn't get a good view of that right there, but he landed a couple body punches, and then it was just kind of the overwhelming that Travis kept hitting him with really hard shots, and he wanted no more to do with it. He thought about getting up and said, nah, let's just call it a day.
You saw the eye contact or lack thereof of David Morgan, would not look into the eyes of referee Christopher Young. Chris, you know, I started in all of this craziness as a pro boxing referee. I've seen that a lot. It's so difficult for fighters in that situation. In MMA, of course, you can tap with honor. In boxing and in bare knuckle, it's tough. Not making the eye contact, but Morgan just overwhelmed by the ferocity, the punching power, and the volume of Travis Thompson.
Well, like I said, it might have been a good strategy if he could have got him off his game, but Travis Thompson is a veteran, and he did the right thing. He went in there and tried to make his opponent pay every single time, hard punch after hard punch, and it paid dividends. His opponent didn't want to get up at the end.
Travis Thompson, now 3 victories in 6 fights. In his 3 defeats, he has gone the distance, living up to his animal nickname, of which he carries proudly. And that's the best, Chris, that Travis Thompson has looked in his half-dozen appearances in BKFC.
Like we talked about, his evolutions get better and better and better.
Here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, the red corner calls a stop to the fight at 22 seconds into round number 2 for your winner by TKO, Travis the Animal Thompson.
Great victory for Travis right there. He showed he is maturing as a fighter. He can deal with people getting in his head, trying to get him out of his game. It's not going to work. He's going to go in there, throw hard punches. I was really impressed not only with that, but his ability right afterwards, he went over there and shook his opponent's hand. Great sportsmanship.
Yeah. I love you, Travis. You're a good fighter, man. Good fighter.
Travis Thompson, so confident coming in, showing class in victory, leaving the animosity in the fight, and then not exiting with it, but he does exit with the victory. The winner, by way of second round TKO, Travis Thompson defeats David Morgan. BKFC presents Knucklemania live tonight on pay-per-view, beginning at the top of the hour. You'll see the absolutely stacked main card, which culminates with our main event, Paige VanZant and her bare knuckle debut versus Hart. You can order right now online at fight.tv, on the Fight app, and through all traditional cable and satellite pay-per-view outlets. For more information, go to bkfc.com. We send it to Brian Sosha.
Hey, it's Brian Sosha back here with Dat and Nguyen, part of the co-main event against brutal Johnny Bedford for the 135-pound title tonight. And Dat, earlier on, I know you've been getting ready, you probably didn't hear it. David Feldman said that you guys could be fight of the night, fight of the year, or fight the biggest fight ever for us. Does that put more added pressure on you?
Not really. I know what's ahead, you know. Johnny Bedford comes to fight, and I've been preparing myself mentally and physically for this fight.
We've seen you talking about this fight, and you're making predictions and stuff. I'd like you to make a prediction how this fight will end.
Like I said, I'm looking for the knockout, and we're not going to go 5 rounds probably. We're going to go in there, and it depends how Johnny want to fight, because I'm going to go to war with him. If he goes going to run, then I have to cut him down. But if he wants to trade and go to war, he's going down.
Well, we're looking forward to a great fight. And, you know, I wonder, as I look at you and I watch you fight and I watch the way you punch, you are a professional boxer. You've had 2 fights here. You're undefeated. Now, he's 5-0 here, Johnny. And you were saying the other day that you're a pro boxer and he's kind of a brawler. Do you feel that you're going to outclass him in the ring, or how do you feel about that?
We're going to make it a brawl if it needs to. You know what I mean? If he wants to be technical, he wants to use his boxing, then we can be technical. But like I said, bare knuckle is a new sport, and sometimes you have to kind of blend it in with 50-50, you know? You can't just be a strict boxer in there. And because of without the gloves, everything is more effective, and the punch is faster, so it's more explosive. So I'm looking to go in there and land first and knock him out.
Thank you, Datton. We're ready tonight for the big co-main event against brutal Johnny Bedford. Some people already calling it before it happened. The biggest fight we've ever had here at BKFC. Let's toss it back to ringside with Sean and Chris.
Thank you, Brian. Chris, that's a phenomenal co-main and indeed a phenomenal main event. So let's talk about this co-main first. Datton Nguyen, an outstanding world-class pro boxing career, 20-3, never stopped. In fact, at the 2 bare knuckle fights, 25 bouts, Nguyen has been knocked down just once in his career, and that was in bare knuckle in a fight that he came back and won against Abdiel Velasquez. That was from the half tie plum, something that Nguyen says that he has addressed in training. He was a high school wrestler in Hawaii. He feels that he has now worked on the tie plum, worked on the counter defense, worked on the clinch, and that won't be a problem versus Johnny Bedford.
You know what's funny? Sometimes when people deal with adversity, it makes them better. That's what happened here. I feel like that Nguyen saw he wasn't a complete fighter in bare knuckle. So we went back to the drawing board, and he tried to correct that. But the thing is, Johnny Bedford is a savage, and he's going to really utilize that. You know, he saw that, and he said, I can capitalize on this. So he's going to go out there and try and rough that Nguyen up.
Johnny Bedford always psychs himself up. Fought 6 times in the UFC. He is a very accomplished MMA fighter and an extremely accomplished bare knuckle fighter. Enters at 5-0. First fighter in promotional history to go 5 for 5. He's also, of course, the reigning 135-pound world champion. Bedford very heated with that Nguyen at the press conference 2 days ago. Kept calling Nguyen B-side. He said, you're not ready for what I have. Quite frankly, Bedford feels that Nguyen just is not taking training seriously. He feels that even though he's the champion, Nguyen is underestimating him.
Yeah, I don't know if he really thinks that or if that's just saying that, but you can tell, I don't know, Johnny Bedford, he seems like he really has to, I don't know, psych himself up for every fight, but it seems like he has a lot of animosity with people he fights. Some people really feed on that, and it makes him a better fighter. You can tell that with Johnny Bedford. He really wants to go out there and prove that he's the best person at this weight class in the world. He's been waiting for a long time to get this title. He's got it, and he's not one to give that up to anybody.
And, of course, animosity in our main event of the evening. It wasn't so much at the press conference, but it was yesterday at the weigh-ins. A physical confrontation just off of the scale between Paige, VanZant, and Hart. Our highly anticipated main event of the evening. Again, coming up, we begin top of the hour live on pay-per-view. Again, here's Brian Sosha.
I just saw this guy walking by, and I had to stop him. Joe Elmore, love this guy. I've pretty much never seen a tougher fighter. Your face looks great. The last time we saw you, I didn't think it was going to get better. How you feeling, my friend?
Man, I'm doing good, dude. I'm just glad to be here to watch this epic event tonight, man. This is, I drove all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, down here. It's going to be one of the most exciting events we've had, so I'm just glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you here. You're one of the most committed BKFC fighters. You seem to show up at every event, and this Knucklemania is the biggest thing we've ever done, and you just had to be here, I'm sure, for this.
Oh, man, yeah, dude. I brought my whole family down. I've got 2 or 3 VIP tables, you know what I'm saying? This is the biggest event we've had. It's our first pay-per-view event. We got Paige, VanZant, Chris, Leben, my boy Quentin, Henry. There's just amazing fighters. Dat and Johnny Bedford. It doesn't get any better than this, man. I'm excited, man.
So who are you thinking for Paige VanZant versus Hart? Who's your prediction? How's that going to go?
Man, dude, I don't even want to be honest. I go by people's attitude, and I saw somebody grab somebody's throat, and honestly, I hope Britain knocks her out tonight because right. I'm not that kind of dude. When you do something like that, that takes it to a whole nother level, and it loses a little respect. So I think that's where it's going.
Well, I wouldn't want to be taken to a whole other level, especially with a guy like you. Joe Elmore joining us tonight. Everybody's joining us. It's Knucklemania. Sean and Chris at ringside. What's going on over there?
Brian, thank you very much. Again, we are counting down the top of the hour. It is our main card, Knucklemania, presented by BKFC. You can order right now online fight.tv. You can download your purchase through the Fight app, and of course you can order through your local cable or satellite provider. Knucklemania is an exclusive presentation of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, available on YouTube in the BKTV app. Here's a preview.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Paige VanZant make her Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship debut.
Coming up next, we're going to see a female match. There's two great female talents. Are we going to see one of these, whoever wins, take on Paige, one of these women?
Well, Brian, you know, anything's possible, but we have to see the outcome of this fight.
Big shots and the win with emphasis for Britton Hart.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to Paige VanZant? She's sitting right over there.
You know what? I'm actually going to take this from you if you don't mind. I'm going to go right over here. I'm going to keep it sweet, simple, and short. You're fucking next.
This is kind of where I felt the most passionate about, and then it completely lined up with what I wanted and what they wanted. Going to bare knuckle boxing, it was solely a decision that I made by myself. I had everybody telling me kind of what they wanted me to do. I had the world that told me what they expected me to do. And when, you know, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship reached out, it was like, this is what I want to do. The first time I had ever heard about Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is when Artem fought.
Black trunks for Artem Lobov, green trunks for Jason Knight.
And they had this iconic, crazy war of a fight. It was just cool to see. It just seemed legendary.
900 miles away, in Bedford, Virginia, Britton Hart trains for her upcoming fight against VanZant, but not in one of the world's finest gyms.
I think I'm one of those people that can survive in fires no matter what. But my current life is definitely a little bit of a fire. I'm a mom. I was going through divorce. I wish I could train all day and then go sit by the pool. But the reality is I have to work like most people. I went to school, you know, I was going to get my degree, and I never felt like I was really making a difference in the world or like purposeful until I started boxing. There's two important dates for everyone. The day you're born, your birthday, and the day you find out why.
That's what she loved. She loved to fight. I mean, she'll fight me, you, karate, kickbox. She come here and jump on wrestling. Like, I can be trained. Next thing I know, she'll be rolling. I'm like, Britt, what are you doing? I just wanted to try this out. Like, she just likes to fight.
The people that I did talk to about bare knuckle, honestly, and that was like 2 years ago, most of them said it was a bad idea.
I just thought she was crazy. I mean, she's a nice looking girl. You see her in the street, you would never even visualize her as a bare knuckle fighter. So, I mean, I thought she was just crazy.
I asked my coach about the bare knuckle thing, and he was like, why? Why would you ever do that? No, that's not a good idea. That's a terrible idea. I kept asking people, and it was like, Britton, the fact that you're asking this many people, it's like you're seeking approval. You know, you're trying to find someone to tell you it's okay.
Paige VanZant coming in the ring right now. Paige, would you like to have a talk?
Love to fight you. That sounds like an easy win for me, so thank you.
For you to say I'm an easy target or an easy opponent, I feel like I need to just shut that up right away.
Even on my very worst day, I would still beat this person.
I'm gonna beat Paige. I feel disrespected.
I feel like everything in my career has led to this.
You didn't do anything but step in this ring and think that you can hang with me.
The moment is at hand for Paige VanZant, her first fight out of the UFC since April 2013. Set tonight to make her bare knuckle debut in our main event versus Britton Hart. BKFC presents Knucklemania live this evening, exclusively on pay-per-view, beginning just moments away at the top of the hour. Again, you will see this absolutely stacked main card, culminating in our main event, Paige VanZant versus Britton Hart. You can order the fight right now online at fight.tv, on the Fight app, and through all traditional cable and satellite pay-per-view outlets. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship returns on Friday night, March 19th with BKFC 16 in Biloxi, Mississippi. And before that in Thailand, it is the debut of Bare Knuckle Kingdom. That's on March 5th. You can watch it exclusively on the BKTV app. Bare Knuckle Kingdom 2 from Thailand, April 2nd. And then BKFC 17, April 16th in Miami, Florida. Again, the only way to watch these fights online, bktvapp.com. Paige VanZant is ready. The only way to watch her tonight is by purchasing our main event. You still have time. Last minute studying of her opponent in our main event in the women's 125-pound division, Hart. BKFC presents Knucklemania live on pay-per-view. Order now. Chris Lytle and I will see you at the top of the hour.